Hey everyone, Maestro here, the football enthusiast. Hope you all are well. Let's get started. Let's get stuck in. All right. So today's video, it's a discussion, and we're going to answer a few questions. And the main question is, this is the main topic of this video. What do I think Chelsea need to do to return back to their, to their elite club that they should be? And let's talk about where they are right now, first of all, and understand the situation currently. So the table tells us that they are 12th place. They are 12th place, 32 games in, and they are 12th. They currently sit at, you can see right here, 39 points. Let's just take a quick gander down here. Leicester right here are 18th. 18, 19, and 20 are that's the relegation zone. 18 is in the relegation zone. Leicester, who are in the relegation zone, are only 10 points behind Chelsea. And we are 32 games in. That is absolutely insane. I've been thinking about this a lot, and there are many records of great elite sides, specifically the top six. There are many times where the top six can fall out and fall into mid-table. We've seen this a couple of times, but this is the worst it's ever been, I think. I've never seen a top six side play this bad ever. And it's just, normally, they finish 10th, 9th, 8th when the top six sides falls out because 20 games in they were 13th, but they brought it back in the last 15 games of the season, and they just kind of found some sort of stability and were able to poach a few points, and it left fans of that club feeling somewhat optimistic of the future. But with Chelsea, there's just no upside. They're going down and down and down. They keep falling and falling and falling. And I came across this just very recently. Look at their next fixtures. Their next game, this is all Premiership, by the way. There's no more competitions for them. They are playing at the Emirates against Arsenal. They're playing against Bournemouth away. That's not as bad, but Bournemouth are fighting relegation. Then Chelsea vs Nottingham. Okay, that's fine. Then Manchester City away, Manchester United away, and Newcastle at home. Do you remember when I just said that they're only 10 points away from relegation? Now, I would love you guys to answer this question. Do you honestly think that they're in a relegation battle? With the fixtures that they have coming and what they're on now, do you think that they're in a relegation battle? I'll answer right now. I don't think they're in a relegation battle. Here's why. I don't think Leicester will get to 39 points. Or I don't think that the bottom three teams, whoever they will be, will get to 39 points. Usually the sweet spot for relegation is, to be safe, is 36, 35. They're on 39. So technically, even if they want to pick up a point, I still think that they're safe. Honestly, I really do. But also, I think, look, I know these fixtures are crazy, but the Bournemouth game and Nottingham Forest game, yes, I know even these two games, with the way Chelsea are playing, look like a far-fetch, to get any points, but it's football. You have to imagine that at some point during these games, they will pick up a point. It might come against Bournemouth or Nottingham, or it might be a huge surprise to come against, Arsenal, City, United, or Newcastle on the top side. But ultimately, even if they weren't to pick up points, I do think they're safe from relegation. So that's that question answered. Now, we just spoken about where they are now and what they're dealing with. Let's talk about what they need to do for their future and to improve and to be the side that Todd Boehly very much wants to become. Now, if you don't know with the story about Todd Boehly, if you just a quick sum up, Roman Abramovich took over Chelsea a long time ago, and he put Chelsea on the map. He turned them upside down, and he was a fantastic owner. He really was. He was great. He was ruthless. I didn't like how he dealt with managers at times, but the way he dealt with them made it so that Chelsea were always in and around the top every 2 years or so. There was a major, with Abramovich, there was a major trophy coming in every 2 or 3 years, and it was a philosophy that was a Roman's philosophy. No one else really adapted that style. Maybe Real Madrid did, but Real Madrid are also probably just as ruthless when it comes to managers as Roman Abramovich. Probably on the other side, but Roman Abramovich, he was the first in the Premiership to do it, and it worked. In terms of, they were I remember when Chelsea was struggling, and then Mourinho came back into Chelsea. Then they won the Premiership. Then Mourinho started falling off. And then he left, and they were struggling again. And then Conte came in, and then another trophy just straight away. So it's just it works. It does work, and Roman was good at that. And now Todd Boehly is here. He's got huge shoes to fill, and he's not doing a great job so far. But let's talk about what he needs to do now for the future. So what he needs to do firstly is to hire the right man. The manager is the most important part of a team, if you're asking me. Look, yes, if the players aren't good enough, then they just aren't good enough. You know, it doesn't matter what the manager is. But at the same time, it's the same with the coach. You could have the greatest set of players in one team, but if the coach is terrible, it's just not going to work out. So right now they have Lampard as an interim, and Lampard, let's just be honest. I'm going to be brutally honest just real quick. He should not be a coach. He has been, with all due respect, it sounds a bit rude, but he's terrible in every way. He should not be a coach, and I know he's only interim, but I still don't understand why they brought him as interim. He is dreadful. But let's talk about the actual coaching job. So there are rumors that Pochettino is a heavy favorite right now. I believe Nagelsmann has fallen out, hasn't he? And there's also Luis Enrique who's a possibility, and he spoke about how he wants to manage in the Premiership. But seemingly Pochettino is the favorite. Now let's just say Pochettino does make it. I think that's an okay hire. Because seeing what is out there, Pochettino isn't bad. He's already been in the Premiership. He understands this league already so. And I don't think it's a terrible hire. I think it's a good hire. My friends and family will know that I was very critical of Pochettino when he was at PSG. I thought he was terrible. But that's a different club with a different expectations and just a different, PSG are just a weird club to manage. You can't really judge a manager for managing such a side. So I will judge him on what he did for Tottenham, and what he was for Tottenham was great. He gave them top four for the first time in a long, long time, and I couldn't believe he was fired in the first place. But yeah, I think he achieved great things at Tottenham, and I think he'll be a good hire. I personally would go for Luis Enrique, but ultimately Todd Boehly, what he needs to do with the coach, he needs to listen to the footballing minds around him. He needs to bring people around him that can pitch in, give their opinions on this coach, that coach, and understand that they know more than me. And whoever the consensus is among these peers, these Chelsea legends, etc., or these football people in his office, that will be what he goes for. And let it be a good, clean screening to understand that both Todd Boehly and the coach will be on the same page. Okay, and to support each other whenever they have bad times. So that's what they need to do with the coaching job. If it is Pochettino, then fine, that's okay. They can make do with that. But they need to be on the same page. And I think the coach needs to be in charge of the transfers. Of course, there's a limit to how much he can spend, but if Pochettino isn't okay with these transfers, or whoever the manager will be, then don't make the transfers. Okay? Because at the end of the day, he is the one dealing with them. Okay? So if you bring on someone that he doesn't like, it's not going to work out. The players. I mean, there's two things that make a team. It's the coach and the players. We just spoke about the coach, talk about the players and what they need to do with the players. Players I would definitely keep. Off the top of my head, I can see right here, Reece James, N'Golo Kante, Thiago Silva, Fofana, Enzo, Badiashile. I'd keep Mason Mount, Ben Chilwell, Madueke. I'd keep Kovacic, of course. I'd keep Modric. Yes, Modric. Those are the players. Those players I just mentioned right now are the players I would definitely keep. Everyone else, I think you should float on the market. I want to talk about Mason Mount. I think I said I'd keep him. The reason being, I understand he currently wants a lot of money. And if that gets too out of hand, then fine, let him go. But I still think there's a talent there that can be utilized from a top manager. Something, we all saw something in Mason Mount during his early years at Chelsea, and that's just not there anymore. He's struggling, but it's within him. He has the capabilities, and I think with the right coach, he can develop to a player where he even exceeds what he was before and becomes the talent that Chelsea fans think he is. What I think about him, look, I think the best he can be is exceptional. I think he can be a quality player. I'm not his biggest fan, but you can't always have the best. I think he can be of great use to a title-winning side. He's not a title-winning player, but he's a piece to the puzzle, possibly, for maybe a major title. Now, the players that I didn't mention, I think definitely should go. Raheem Sterling. I've never been Raheem Sterling's biggest fan. When he was at City, I always thought that he was very fortunate to have a manager like Pep Guardiola and to play at a side in which his job was essentially just to poach. And with all he did that very well. And it's not easy. I give him great credit for that. He did that very well. But ultimately, what Chelsea need is not what Sterling is at all. And I was actually very baffled by this signing in the first place. So get him out of it. Cucurella. Look, I like Cucurella. I understand he has had a tough time since he was bought from Brighton, but I'm a Ben Chilwell guy, and I don't think what's the point in having a player, a backup left back that's on just as much money as the starting left back. Now I might be wrong about that, but you'd have to imagine that Cucurella is being paid quite a lot of money. I don't understand. Like, if Cucurella is willing to stay on the bench and also shows his finances at a point where Cucurella's contract isn't a huge weight on them, then fine, keep him. But if that's not the case, I think you should let him go. Now, the one that I think will surprise a lot of you guys is João Felix. I didn't mention him. I think he's a fine, exceptional, quality player. I love watching him play football. I'm not the biggest fan of a false nine. That's just for me personally, my own little philosophy of football. I'm not the biggest fan of false nines. I think that they take up space that can be used much more efficiently. By that I mean just a full-on striker. The only time in history, in my lifetime, not in history, just my lifetime, where I've let's play this centre forward, is 2 times. Roberto Firmino for Liverpool, because it just worked very well, and it allowed Mane and Salah to be much better, to just soar. And the other time was Lionel Messi, and that's because it's Lionel Messi. That's the only other time where I felt this false nine thing works perfectly here. With João Felix, look, he's a fine player, but I just think if you just get rid of him and you bring in a top quality striker or a young striker that can become top quality, then I think you're better off. And that's the same reason why I think Kai Havertz should go. Kai Havertz, so with João Felix, I said he's a top quality player, but I just think that they should be using that position more efficiently with an actual striker. Now with Havertz, I don't think he's a top quality player. Once again, he's a false nine, so I would want him gone either way. But either way, I don't think he's good. I think he's okay. He has his moments. He does. He has moments in his career that you can look back and say, wow. Ultimately, he is no way near consistent enough. At his best, he is a quality player. He's a very pretty player. He's very pretty on the ball, but my goodness, this game, he's so inconsistent. He drives me crazy. I'm an Arsenal fan, and he, as a Chelsea player, drives me crazy. So he needs to look. He's 23. He's young, but ultimately, this Havertz project had just not worked out, and I don't think he'll be anything great at Chelsea. Maybe he can move on and reach his potential at a different club, but just not at Chelsea. So him gone. Now the goalie situation, Kepa or Mendy, I'm not a fan of both. Get rid of them both. Not get rid of them both, but look in the market for a starting goalkeeper. I'm not a huge fan of Mendy or Kepa. On the feet, the saves, everything. I don't think that they're that great. I remember when Mendy won the goalie of the year because he won the Champions League, and I just thought that was fully carried by his Champions League win and his AFCON win. He's a good goalie, and in that year he was good, but he was never ever at any point even close to being the best goalie in the world. So yeah, him and Kepa, I'd find a replacement. Now anything else I missed? Look, Conor Gallagher, yeah, I'd ship him out today. He has no redeeming qualities. He has nothing that I look at and think this is something right here. This is a level of play that is intriguing, and he's really good at this and this. No, he's good at nothing. At this level, he's not good enough at anything. So him, I just go. Aspi, look, he's a Chelsea legend. So if he wants to stay, I'd give him the courtesy and allow him to stay for one more year. But it's not a huge issue if he leaves. Kovacic, did I say he? Because Kovacic has to stay as well. I don't know if I mentioned that. Kovacic is amazing. I'm a huge fan of his. He has to stay. He ultimately is a great side. Now, look, there are more players I might have missed or not, but I'm just to sum up. If you have, look, as a goalie, you bring in a fresh new goalie. The two centre backs, Thiago Silva and Fofana, I think are perfectly fine. Now, Badiashile could fit in there, but Silva, I'm a huge fan of his. Yes, he's old, so maybe, but they have Badiashile right there and Fofana. They're both young. If Silva does fall away, I think Fofana or Badiashile could fill in that hole perfectly. Koulibaly, I would get rid of. So that's the two centre backs. Right back, Reece James. I love Reece James. He's exceptional. Left back, Chilwell. He has his critics, but I'm a huge fan. The midfield, Enzo is let's talk about Enzo. He's an exceptional player. I understand that. Look, he gets banned to the lot because not a lot of goals, not a lot of assists. But his effect on the game, his effect on the game, you need to look, you need to watch him play. You know, he's the type of player where if you watch Chelsea without him, you'd understand just how much of an effect he has on the pitch. And not to mention his potential is fantastic because he'll get better and better and better. I wasn't fully convinced of him when he joined City. I thought, he just joined Benfica this season and he had a great World Cup, but those are 7 games. Are you really going to bet all this money on him? And then when he played for Chelsea and started watching him more and more, I honestly think I'm looking past his losses and just watching Enzo for him and for just for himself. I think he's exceptional. I really do. So I love him in the midfield alongside the legend that is N'Golo Kante. He's exceptional. He's fantastic. Now, the third midfielder, it could be Mason Mount, but I think that if they want to win a title, it needs to be someone else. Now, I want to keep Mason Mount because he can become someone that can win a title, but I would look into the market for a replacement for that position. Now, the front three, the striker position, you all know how I feel about that. And they need to bring in someone. I don't want to see Havertz or Felix there for Chelsea. Left wing. Look, this lad right here. Mikhailo Mudryk. This is going to sound very arrogant, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. And if you want to call me on it, then just say it. The reason why I think Mudryk is still a quality player, and there's still a quality player within him and he can be someone exceptional, is because Arteta wanted him. You cannot deny Arteta's eye for talent has been exceptional ever since he joined Arsenal. He's found gems. And he wanted Mudryk very, very much so. And if that's the case, then there's surely someone there that can be a world-class footballer. And I watch him play. There is potential there. He isn't as composed as you want him to be. His decision making is a bit off, but these are things you can work on, and those things will grow. He's young of age. Those things will grow with more game time and the right coach and the right environment, with the fullback that supports him, with the midfield that supports him, and just essentially just the coach. More importantly, the coach that supports him. So I think Mudryk is on the left. I just put him there, and I think he'll be fine. On the right, Madueke is a fine player, but I'm not huge on Madueke as I am on Mudryk. I think Madueke should definitely stay because he can be quality, but I would once again find someone in the market for that right position for if they want to challenge straight away. Now that team I just mentioned, it's a new goalie, a top quality goalkeeper with Silva and Fofana in the back two, Reece James on the right, Chilwell on the left, midfield 3 of Enzo, Kante, and a new midfielder. By the way, not Kovacic. Enzo, Kante, and Kovacic all together, all 3 are great players, but all 3 won't work together. So I think they need to bring in someone else. And then a new striker with Mudryk on the left and a new right wing on the right. A top quality, let's say they get Madueke, because you can't buy everyone. So let's just say they get Madueke. Can that team get top 4? Yes, it can. Probably not win a title because they're new and they're still developing and they're young, and there's many question marks about the manager and about the players as well. But that's a start. So they've already spent so much money. I understand that. Maybe I'm playing Football Manager here, but ultimately they're in a position where even after all this money spent, they need to spend more. And I think that's how they need to spend it, and that's how they can be relevant again and be a great side. Once again, it's crazy what has happened this season. It's insane how far they've fallen. But I do think that they currently have a set of players that are quality and can become something very special with just a few more additions and the right coach. That's just a summary of the whole video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is my video. My name is Maestro again. I hope you guys, please, if you did enjoy, please leave a like. And if you want to see more, please subscribe. I'm uploading every day, hopefully. If I don't, I apologize. So yeah, thanks guys so much for coming out. And as always, please take care of yourselves and have a great day.